We forgot the mic. We'll do it again. Vi må gjøre det igjen. 1, 2, 3. Pow! Pow, 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 pow!
Vi gjorde det 2 ganger.
Vi hadde glemt det. Jeg hadde glemt å skru på mikrofonen. I had forgotten to turn on the mic. Okay. Lillian is making a book, so she might ask me some questions. But other than that, welcome to Easter morning edition of Sunday Fun Day. And coincidentally, it's also Ulla and I's 12-year anniversary. So a full day, a happy day. Anyway, if you're watching this in the replay, you might be lucky, and there are some timestamps in the descriptions. If not, just follow along. And welcome to everyone who's here today. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And the topic for today, I forgot to put the banner on. I had to restart my computer. I had everything organized, but then I had to restart the computer. So yes, today we are exploring Userlist. Kind of funny because the backend as a service I use is called Userbase, and now we're checking out Userlist. So I might say that wrong sometimes during this stream because quite similar, all about users, I guess. So good names. Yeah, so I think some of the founders of Userlist are in the chat, maybe be able to answer some questions for us if we get stuck. It's a true kind of usability test because I have not signed up yet. Or maybe I signed up years ago, so we'll see that if my email is in use or not. But we'll go through the whole thing, signing up, checking out the product, and I've written up some questions that I put on the Twitter, and I added another one. So some things that I know that I'll be looking for after testing out different email service platforms. So the ones I've tried so far has been MailChimp and ConvertKit, and both of those are for newsletters, but Userlist is for SaaS applications, and POW is a SaaS application, a software as a service. So what is POW? For those who are new around here, POW is a privacy-first menstrual tracker. No, POW is a privacy-first menstrual cycle journal. It's a mouthful that I have created, and it's been live for around a year. We got about 50 customers at this point, but this spring we're pushing forward on the features and getting everything, up to top notch. What would I say? Anyway, and then next year, hopefully, we'll do some real marketing push. Anyhow, back to Userlist, and I'm going to check the comments a little bit. So there, congrats on the 12 years. Thank you. So Jane is one of the founders of Userbase. So she'll be lurking a little bit in the background. And also at 12 years with your husband. Cool. So Ulla and I never married, but 12 years and a kid and a business kind of feels like we're married. And let's jump into these questions that I have asked myself, or that I know that I will be looking into. And that is, can we turn off open tracking, and can we turn off link tracking? Because one of the things with POW is that I take the privacy of my users very seriously. It's a privacy-first application. And when it comes to emails, the norm now is to log everything that happens to that email. It's like all of these services. Let me see if I can. Well, that's too small. We are married. We're not married. Ulla is trolling me in the comments. Yeah, so the normal thing for all of these services now out of the box is that everything is tracked. So you want to know when your recipient opened the email. You want to know when they clicked a link. That's kind of the typical feature set that people are looking for. But for POW, I'm looking for the opposite. Because with POW, I might be sending emails of a more sensitive nature. And I don't want to be able to know which users clicked what link and at what time. So an example could be that we're going to start a newsletter. It's going to be about privacy, menstrual health, and the development of POW. and say we have a themed issue about, sexually transmitted diseases or miscarriages or something like that, I don't want to log into my email service and then see, oh, this person clicked the link about the article about a miscarriage like 5 times, or this other person clicked the STD article at 3 a.m. their time. These are just things that I don't really need to know, do I? And I don't want to know it because I just, then I would have to handle that information in a very organized and sensible manner. So I would rather just not know. And that's the same thing with POW. So we use for the data that POW collects, we use end-to-end encryption, which means that the data is encrypted on the user's device, then sent to the servers, and nobody can open it on the servers. And then when the user wants to look at it, it's sent back to their device and it is unlocked with their password. And I want kind of that same type of privacy for my users when it comes to my marketing as well. So that is that tracking. And then it's more of a technical aspect. I'm going to put on my headphones because then I can hear a little less. Are you making a book? Lager du bok? Lager du bok? Yeah. Lillian can come show her book a little bit later. I'm just going to put on these so I feel more secluded. Anyway, so can we change an active campaign? And this is something we can do in ConvertKit. So if you've started a sequence, I guess they call it, and I just looked a little bit on the sale marketing page for Userlist, they call it a campaign. I think we'll see more when we log in. And one of the things that's really nice with ConvertKit is that when you've created a sequence, you can then later on add another email. You can change the order of the emails without having to kind of archive that sequence and then start a new sequence, which I know in some softwares like these, that's the way you have to do it. So I want to check out if Userlist lets me kind of change things along the way so I don't feel kind of locked into that onboarding sequence and I can never change it without, archiving it and then starting with a new one. I also want to have a look at how unsubscribe stuff works, which is seems super simple, but again, if you use a newsletter service like ConvertKit or MailChimp, if somebody signs unsubscribe, I mean, they unsubscribe for everything. But what if I want to send them an email about billing or about the state of their account, or maybe we're having some downtime? I mean, things that are actually not marketing and that the user shouldn't be able to sign off from. So with MailChimp, I think you can have different lists and then people can unsubscribe from different lists, but they will always be able to unsubscribe. And then in ConvertKit, you can do things with tags where you can let them unsubscribe from tags. You have to do that with a little bit of kind of code. So I want to see kind of how Userlist works around the unsubscribed stuff, because I know that is a pain point. And that is the big question. This is a service for SaaS businesses. And I think in their marketing, it's very much after somebody signs up. But I also kind of want to have a newsletter, and it would be super nice to have that in the same system. So we're going to see if we can make Userlist work for newsletters in the same way I have managed to make ConvertKit work for SaaS, because at the moment I can't have the best of both worlds in one tool, I think. And then something that I didn't put out in my little Twitter list when I was announcing this topic is, can several users have the same email address? And this goes back to, again, with MailChimp and ConvertKit and kind of newsletter services, they consider the email the unique identifier, because if you're sending out marketing emails, you typically don't want to send, the same marketing email 4 times just because somebody signed up with the same email 4 times. That would be, annoying. But when it comes to a SaaS business, like there could be several users in POW that use the same email. So in POW, you are identified by your username and not your email. So for instance, I'm thinking, there could be several reasons for why somebody would use 2 accounts would use the same email address. So we want to see if that is something that Userlist can support, because that is something that ConvertKit cannot support. So when I was making the integration, I kind of just had to assume that people, or the last person to sign, or the first person to sign up with that email address kind of own that email address, which then the next person signing up with that email address would not get onboarding or kind of billing information, stuff like that. So Jane, Good that you said that, because I've heard it on the grapevine that Userlist will be opening up to marketing emails pre-sale as well. So that is super interesting. So maybe we should not look into how we can kind of force the current user list into becoming a marketing email tool and just wait for that marketing email feature or tool. And then, Jane, you're answering all my questions. We're going to look in your, we're going to go inside of the service and see if we can figure it out ourselves. But Jane is saying, yes, several users can have the same email address. And then their technical person, Benedict, which is funny. He's almost the same name as me, Benedict, and I'm Benedicta, which means the blessed, which is actually a good name on this Easter day. Anyway, so he can tell us more about why email addresses is the worst kind of user identifier. Yeah, it also makes it hard for people to change their emails. There's all sorts of reasons why that is a bad one. Yeah. You're good. It's nice to have, I love a lively chat. I do. And if anybody has questions for the user list people or me, add them to the chat. And also, now that I've introduced everything, which will be a bad time to get new people on board, if you're on Twitter, Discord, Slack, anywhere, you could share the link to this video. That would be super awesome. Yeah, we are the blessed. So I guess it's time to log in and check out to see if I have used my email before or not. So I have followed Userlist. I think Jane could probably answer this then. How long have you been around? But I remember checking it out like years ago when I didn't really need it, but I just really loved the marketing. And it seems like, good people behind it, which is something I always want to support. But then when I started my journey about automating messages for POW, I had forgot, but then suddenly, boom, back on my mind. And now we're checking it out. So long tail of sales, SaaS sales. This is an example of that. So if you have access to your own marketing tools, Jane, and you find me in the list, I give you permission to let people know how long I've been on your email lists. But I don't know if you have all my emails, though, because I probably signed up several times. Okay, Ulla says, let's go. Ulla is all about just getting into it. And here we have Benedict, who's saying, please don't break. Please don't break. Oh, I know the feeling. Okay, so let's get another window up here. I see people are talking on Twitter, but I'm going to not think about that. And then we'll go to the user list and user base. Okay, there we go. Behavior-based customer messaging, perfect for your SaaS. Yes, I am a SaaS. I love this. It's towards me. And then we'll just scroll through here. I've done that a couple of times. There's a little bit of screenshots, some things I need for POW. So I'm definitely stealing some of this marketing for my own application. Laser focused on your SaaS needs. Yes, love that. And then usually I just scroll like this. Yeah, looking good. Okay, start a free trial. Let's see if I can talk. And if I can spell my own name. And then we'll just do a testing password so that I don't open my, I don't open all of my emails. Do I even remember this password now? Yes. Do not remember anymore. It's been a while. So do people usually usually answer this? That would be interesting for me to know. So our company is called Lily Labs, in case you want to use this with more products. Ooh. Company email. Oh, so see, this is where I always get confused with these things, because I want it for the product and maybe not the company, but could I have more product in one company? So let's change this up. I'm thinking they want POW. And then we have support. Usually I just do hello at usepow.app. And then I am gonna, my billing details. Okay, let's move away from the screen and I'll open up my my one password, where I keep everything, and you people should definitely check out 1Password for your password needs. Oh, and there I just showed it to you. I will have to blur that out. Okay. Hoping people didn't see my credit card there, but we're going to blur that out of the video if it does show up. And there is Jane. I'm not going to play this because I cannot turn the audio and show you the audio. And usually I probably wouldn't see it anyway. So we'll just jump right in here and we'll start with our list, our little list. So let's see. Can we turn off open tracking? So let's try to create an automation, add a campaign. Ooh, oh, I love this. There's like ready-made campaigns for me. So which one is the next one I need now? I have my onboarding sequence kind of done. It's in ConvertKit. So let's try the cancellation service survey. That's a nice one. One of campaign, only send once, e.g. onboarding. Yeah, so this would only be when they cancel. Cancellation survey. And this is super interesting. Deliver messages to unsubscribed users. So I'm guessing this answers our questions a little bit about how does the unsubscribe stuff work. So you can obviously then send emails that are not kind of marketing emails to users that have said, oh, I unsubscribe from your marketing emails. So that is super interesting. That's something that you can now do with kind of, the regular newsletter types of services. So I then will have to decide, should a cancellation survey be sent to people who have unsubscribed? And I'm thinking no. If they're the kind of people who have unsubscribed from our marketing emails and then they cancel, might feel a little much if I send them the cancellation survey as well. So let's just add that campaign. And then there's a trigger. So I guess I need to find, so I have no users. So it will be when they cancel. So it matches a condition. I don't have any conditions. I will have to set that up after the stream, I guess. Messages, but I try to figure out if I can turn off the tracking. So sometimes they have that. Okay, there's an option up here. No. So I cannot do it on the email. Maybe I can do it on the whole account, which would be preferable for me. Company settings. Message metric tracking. Track when users, open messages, track when users. Oh, so they are off by default. Have you told your new users this? Because I actually asked for this feature from Benedict in a community that we're both a part of. So I'm super happy to see that that has been implemented and it's off by default, which is perfect for my use case, but maybe not for other people's use cases because I'm used to turning them off and not having to turn them on. So that is something for the Userlist people to figure out how they want to do that. But for me, perfect. We have figured that one out. So let's just update. Can we? Yes. 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 And then let's do, so we can send emails to unsubscribe users. So that we have managed that. Okay, so let's go back to our automation. So then it will not be tracked. Ooh. And then they are asking us, send in-app messages like this. Welcome to Userlist. It's not just about email. You can send in-app messages to your users. I know that that is super interesting for a lot of SaaSes. I don't want to do that yet because I don't want any client-side kind of snippets from marketing type services. So I might, when I trust you even more, I might add that. But also it feels with the kind of sensitive nature of our application, it feels that people will probably think that if they write into that in-app messaging that it would be encrypted in the same way as their data, but it's not. So I don't want to give them kind of that false sense of encryption and privacy. But that is definitely something that is very specific to our use case with POW. So let's go back. We'll save. Yes. Can we change an active campaign? So let's keep on doing this campaign. I guess we need to figure out a way to add some triggers to set this in motion. User performs a custom user first seen, user joins a segment, user leaves a segment, user matches a condition. So I guess a custom event would be interesting, but I need to make these events. Can I just make it? Cancellation. And I always spell that wrong, so let's Google that. No, I spelled it right, I think. Oh, super cool. So I can just add an event without having any users in here yet. That is super cool, because otherwise it would be like, go, add a fake user, add a fake event, then add the event name over here. Really liking that. So it fires the next time a user performs the custom event. And then I can ask the Jane or Benedict in the chat if you would do a custom cancellation event, or if you would more, or if it would be more beneficial with a segment. I saw that I could then do leaves a segment. So if I had a segment that was active users, and then I could do user leaves a segment, then they could get the cancellation email. I don't know which one of those are preferable, but let's say we now have a user performs a custom event cancellation. Save. Okay, so we have that. And then there's the input. And it seems like they have already created, information for me here, which I really like. So the subject, your input. So I would like your input, your input. That's a nice title. I noticed you say cancel your product. So I'm hoping this then says POW and was hoping to learn more about how using product went for you. Or do I need to change these maybe? Because I'm thinking these are the liquid. So I can see here, hey, user first name, capitalized default there. And there's these little curly boys. Aren't that what we call them, Scott? I see you in the chat. Curly boys. That denotes that this is a liquid templating language that I know from other services. And it means that whatever is in these kind of curlies will be changed out with data from the user, if we call it. So user here, it's asking for user first name. And then you capitalize it. And then if there's no user first name, it defaults to there instead of the first name. So obviously it's important to put the capitalize in the middle, because if you put it at the end, then it would capitalize also there, which we don't want. So it's kind of like a mini programming language or a templating language, this liquefied. Yeah, I think it's called liquefied. But these products are not in little curlies. So I'm thinking they want me to replace the things in the square brackets, the square boys. So let's do that. POW. Working super hard to make POW the best. Menstrual. Oh, no caps. Menstrual cycle journal out there. And your input is a big part of that. Hearing your experiences. I mean, that they've written the email for me. I don't know. This is just awesome, because I have a really hard time, being, polite enough, but like asking the right question. And this is like, I will just use this email probably. And input is a big part of that. Hearing your experiences, help us figure out if them. And then know what's there. Why you canceled, because we don't have a downgrade. Canceled. Was there something you were hoping to find? Was there a shift in your business? Was there a shift in your needs, since they're not a business? And you don't, and shift in your need, and you don't shift in your needs. I'm going to rephrase that a little, and don't need to track your cycle anymore. There's a shift in your life, maybe, and you don't need to track your cycle anymore. Because I do have people now, because you can't pause POW at this moment, and people, get pregnant and don't have a menstrual cycle, so they need to pause. So that could be a reason for somebody to cancel. So I think maybe a shift in your life or life event, I could say something like that. Looking forward to your input. Thanks so much. And then we do that. Oh, and this I don't like about, it's, I've learned that I just need to do Benedicta. And then often I do @Ray so that people who know me from Twitter know this. Save message. Okay. So is this now active or is it not active? Cancellation. Oh, this was just the email. Okay, this was just the email. It is now saved. There's an exit. Start campaign. Okay. So now we're going to see if we can change it after starting it. So now it says active. Yes, it's active. We can pause the campaign. We can send a test. We can edit. Okay. We can edit everything then maybe. Let's see if we can add a message to it. So I'm not going to do that. We're not going to ask them for their input and then follow up another time and be like, ask, input. But we're just going to test that now. Another one. And then default sender profile. This is just a test. Oh, so pre-header optional. I think that is what then will show up in you have the subject, and then often you get a little, like a line of text in your emails that is showing up in your email inbox. I think that the pre-header would be that, so that instead of them having, hey there, or something like that, you could actually write something interesting for them. You're about to update an active campaign. Your changes will go live immediately as soon as you hit the button below. If you're not sure, please pause the campaign first. Lovely. This is exactly how I want it to work. But yes, I want to publish the changes directly. So I can do that. Oh my God. I'm in a happy zone now. I'm thoroughly happy. This is so far exactly how I want things to work. So here in the pre-header, we maybe want to do something like, I noticed you recently canceled instead of, well, we'll see. Edit campaign. So these are the messages. I can add message there. I could go edit campaign. I can add a message there. I can change. What happens if I try to change the trigger? Leaves a segment. Oh, so for segment, I'm not allowed to add a new segment. Okay. User property equals is greater than. Oh, so instead of having a custom event that is canceled, I could probably set a cancellation date on the user property and then select that. And when it's that it equals it or is bigger than, then it should send. Can I then say today here? Super interesting. How could I trigger something on a date? Because that I also need, because when a user signs up, they get a 60-day free trial. So after they sign up, I want to give them at a day 50, I want to give them a notification that says, oh, you got 10 more days of your free trial. If you don't want to pay, no, if you want a refund, if you want a refund. So I don't have a free trial, but I have a 60-day, no money, no questions asked, money back policy. So on day 50, I want to send them an email saying, hello, if you're not enjoying this, you can get your money back in the next 10 days. And then I would like this to send on an actual date. Oh, there's so many ways to handle cancellations in terms of data, Jane says. So you can take billing state equals canceled, or an event like I did, or setting a cancellation at date like you mentioned. So my question now, I'll try to figure it out first myself, but then I will ask Jane. So we're going to now try, I'm going to just pause this so we're not suddenly sending anything. Pause campaign. So now we're going to try and create that campaign where at day 50 after signing up, they will get an email. So then I guess I can't use any of these. But I want to use your emails, Jane. campaign refund notice. And I want to deliver this message to unsubscribed users because I'm giving them information that they can get their money back. So I think they would want that even though they have unsubscribed. So now we're obviously starting from scratch instead of a template that Jane or somebody at the company has made. So let's add a trigger then. So what I want to do now is that user is first seen in Userlist. What happens? No, add a condition. User matches a condition, user property. Oh, but then I need these conditions. I need these properties. Can I add these or do I have to add them with code? Integration guide. Client-side tracking, best practices. What exactly should I track? User data, which are properties. Events. Events are important. Oh, can you see this? I'm going to zoom in. User data represent the current state of the user and doesn't have a temporal aspect. We only store the latest version. One of the properties might have changed in the past, but you cannot tell just by looking at it. User properties include things like their names, company role, their current payment plan, and anything else you prefer to track. So maybe I would like cancellations to be events because people can sign up and then cancel again and then sign up again. I'll think about that. But for now, let's see if we can do a date and then something happening on that date. So we need the user list JavaScript. In browser, in Node. Yeah, so I probably need to add the properties with code. Clicking there. So Benedict is saying I can add it in the same way I did with the custom event. So let's see if we can do that then. But I do understand why you want me to do that with code. So matches the condition, property. Oh, so I probably just have to start writing then. Cancel. I'm sorry. I did this for the custom event and then I forgot. Okay, cancel. No. Payment. What should I do? Paid, not subscribed, because I can subscribe but not pay. And then they pay. So let's call that payment. Payment date equals. But then we want to do payment date equals, and then we want plus 50 days. Can we do that? Let's see if we can find some. Get client-side tracking, company, campaign templates, automated campaigns, composing, repeatable. Hints for dates, have them in at or on. Okay, cool. Oh. So let's add another one then. Payment on. And now it works automatically. Yeah, should add a little bit. That could be a little bit clearer. But so is after. Yes. Yes. So they pay, and then 50 days after, it's after or equals 50 days from now. Save. I can send them the message that, oh, the trigger said something. Anyway, I can then send them, you have another, or are you happy with POW? And I never know if I should do a question mark or it's hard to have an exclamation point at the end of your brand name. Default sender. And then I would get, you are still eligible for a refund. Let's not fix all my spelling mistakes today. And then I wanted that little snippet that they had for adding a username or there. And in ConvertKit, they have this little thing where I can add like snippets. I can just add a snippet from somewhere. It looks like they don't have that. So what we do then, we're just opening this in another tab, and then we go copy it from the other email. Did you freak out there, Benedict, that it wasn't going to work? Okay, another one, your input. And then we just want to steal this one. Then something, refund. Okay, so that was quick. We managed that. We do have snippets. They're just not available from the editor, says Jane. Okay. Yeah, because I love to have just a little bit of a snippet that that are kind of pre-written, and then I'll just add it to the email. That would be great. Options. I think we are, let's go back to our list so I keep this a little bit focused. Can we change an active campaign? Yes, and we just went straight on to creating another campaign because we learned something new. So I'm just going to note that down. It is possible to trigger campaigns on future dates, like I need for the refund. Do you have something you want to show? Vill du visa den? Okay, so Lillian just wants to show Lillian wants to show her book. You want to show your book? Här Lillian, du må visa den där. So Lillian has made a book today. It says Lillian's book. Ska du bla?
Min bok.
Din book. Oh, it's a secret book.
Min bok.
Skal du ikke vise den?
Nei.
Skal du vise
Okay.
den til meg? Kom her, da. Kom her, da.
Jeg kan vise den for pappa.
Ja, gjør det. Supert.
Okay.
Vet du hva, Lilian? Ta på deg skoene, så går vi på loftet, så leser du der. Ok?
Men hvor er telefonen?
So now Ola and Lillian's going to organize themselves up to the loft because Lillian doesn't want to show all of us her book. It's her secret book. She just wanted to show you all the front page of the book. So I'll just do some writing here while you can listen to the family. Campaigns. I can't write.
Mamma spiser på
Need for refunds. So Jane says, we love using snippets. So after I've updated this a little bit, I will go in and try to figure out how that snippets work. Okay, so how does the unsubscribe work? We've written down a little bit. Can we run the newsletter as well? We will not check that because they are coming with something. There will soon be a newsletter feature. Dun, 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 the suspense. So we looked at that, and then can several users have the same email address? Ola's here, and then teach everything you know.
It's a ConvertKit t-shirt!
And Lillian got an Easter egg this morning from the Easter Bunny.
Du er ikke på TV! Du er på TV! Du er på TV! Spill!
Oi!
Ja, det går bra.
Pappa får ikke lov til å se hva som er inni, for nå vet mamma det.
Ok, er det hemmelig?
Okay.
Ja, men nå vet mamma det.
Where did all the chocolate go? I think that was all. That'll look it.
Vet du hva, Lilian? Jeg går opp, jeg. Så kommer du, ta på deg sko.
Willa said, I will go up to the loft. And I'm thinking, yes, please do that. Because whenever he's down there, chaos ensures.
Min bok.
Yes. Okay. That was the family. So we got family-run business, and Lillian does help out with marketing. She draws things for me and she also makes coffee. And then Ola is our junior developer, but also kind of business savvy and pushes me to do things that I might not otherwise do. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get back to what we were doing. We were looking through my little notes here to see if we have answered them. Can we turn off the tracking? Yes. Again, yes. Can we change an active campaign? Yes. That seemed super simple, and you could pause, but you could also just add it live, the changes. And it looks like you could change like all aspects of the campaign even after it's been active. So that's super cool. We've learned a little bit about the unsubscribe. So in Userlist, you are able to force send also to unsubscribed users if you are sure that it's not a marketing email. So for my case of sending a reminder that you can get a refund after 50 days if you're not happy with the product, I decided that, yes, I would send that to unsubscribed users as well, because, you know, they might get their money back. That is not kind of annoying in the same way as more marketing styles emails. And then the question about, can we run a newsletter as well? And I'm guessing we could just add like all kinds of people as users and then say that they're not active users and then send them newsletters. But Jane in the chat told us that there will be a newsletter feature coming up. So we're not going to try and force it. We're just going to wait for that. And then it's the and then it's my last question that I haven't really checked, but that was answered in the chat, but I will go ahead and check it as well. And then I added a note. It is possible. Additional notes. Additional. Ooh. Notes. It's possible to trigger campaigns on future dates. So for people who just jumped in, look at that. User property, payment on, equals 50 days from now. So I don't have to add another property for that date even. I can just use that one date that I have and then work around that. You know, it might seem like a small thing, but woohoo, that is awesome. That is awesome. And I didn't have to do any like liquid magic of, because in ConvertKit, I think you can do some of this, but you have to then convert the date using liquid tags and then calculate the seconds from that date, or it's, yeah, it was not easy. So super happy with all of this. So then our last kind of exploring is we were going to check if it's possible, can several users have the same email address? And then we will check out the snippets thing. So since I'm not adding any users, that would be, if I decide to go with Userlist, which is, I think I might, I'm pretty sure I will, then I'm guessing we will have some Sundays in the future where we will set up the integration and start like working it in and changing out the ConvertKit integration that I've created. It's only 15 minutes left today, so I don't think we'll do that today, because I also have to make sure all these keys are a secret and stuff like that. So I don't want to get into that at the end of this stream. So is the email the identifier, or is there something else? And Jane let us know it's not, but then I think also that would be information in this. I was clicking here on direct IP and API. Okay, I need water. Direct API integration. And then I got further into the actual API here, the JavaScript Node API. And it says userlist user create, and pretty sure there it's the identifier that lets us know that the identifier is not the email. And what is super with this is that since I have a SaaS, and Userlist is made for SaaSes, I can then probably use the identifier from the user base backend that I use, and in that way connect them together. I'm going to give that a little think if I want to use them directly, or I could maybe do some kind of hashing so that I don't use the exact same identifier in both systems, but that I can always get from my user base identifier to my Userlist identifier, just for some like added security. There's a message coming in. Yeah? Oh, so Ola let me know I have removed the screen, so you're not seeing what I'm doing. There. I am sorry. I removed the screens because everybody was on with me, but oh, and everyone is trying to tell me that, but okay, that's what happens on stream. So I was showing this list was what I was talking everyone through. So can several users have the same email address? And that's a big yes. And then we had the initial, if it's possible to trigger campaign to future dates, yes. So let's go and then check out the, well, I heard to save the day. I love the energy in the chat today. It's been so much fun having you hang out with me. And as everybody who knows who's been there before, these streams are not like super pre-planned. So you get to see everything that I do and think, and you also get to see the family because it's Sunday morning and it's the Sunday Fun Day stream. Okay, let's go and have some more look-see in the user list thing here. So Jane said there are some snippets. So let me see if I can find them. Maybe on campaign, snippets. Add a snippet name, intro. And then intro. Then we want that snippet that I had earlier. I'm just going to quickly take you off screen to see what I have in my copy. So nothing secret. There, I added the hey user first name capitalized default there. Save snippet. And then I guess I can change, go back to the automation and then do, and then on all of these, I can then do intro, no, snippet intro. And then move that out of the way. Save, and then maybe preview. I have no users, so it will be hard to give me a preview. So it looks like it doesn't want to give me a preview because I have no users. Well, here would be cool if it just gave me the preview, but with kind of nothing for that, or like a default. The default, like hello there, could be cool. So it seems like I was able to crash something. That's my mom was a developer and then a CTO, and both her and me have been known to be able to crash almost anything. So, you know, I feel good that I was able to find something that wasn't working just to boost, you know, that identity that I'm a good tester, but not a very, you know, serious thing. I understand why, because I have no users. But anyway, I think this then will work with the snippet intro, and I'll do the same thing with the outro so that I can just do snippet outro, and then I can change that up, and it will probably change, or it will change in all my emails if I keep using the same snippets. So super cool. I am just so pleased. I hope that everyone got something out of this little walkthrough of the user list. Automate a broadcast, no, userlist message. Okay, we're getting up onto the hour because I can't talk anymore. That's I call that a win. I call that a win, Benedict. I mean, 50 minutes, and that's when I find something that is not even a bug, is it? So that is super cool. It just feels very polished. I really like the UI. Maybe the only thing here is like, it would be nice if I could just add some users without using the integration. I understand why that is not the case, and I am a coder, so I have no problem adding that integration on probably the next stream or the stream after. But it's just nice to be able to like add some users and then have that to test with when you're just playing around. That's the only kind of thing that I felt, but I knew that going in that you had to kind of set up that integration, because I've seen that in the marketing. So it's not something that surprised me. But I've loved kind of the automation features. I love that you give me ready-made templates. And for those of you who do not need Userlist, I know if you go into their page, I don't know if we can get back to the home page now that we're logged in, but oh yeah, we can, because they have an app prefix. So if we go back to the Userlist homepage, I am pretty sure that there's templates that you can steal, even though you're not using their service. So yeah, here there are templates that are already written so that you don't have to think about, how do I ask for a review? You can just copy this template, which is, I mean, some of the hardest work I've done with POW is coming up with the onboarding sequence and writing those emails and finding these templates. I will use them no matter if I end up using the service or not, which I think I will. But these templates are just awesome. Like, you should all have a look at those if you need templating or emails. Where was I in my thought process? I was thinking about, yes, the templates. This all worked really well. We haven't looked at broadcast, so I'm guessing broadcast, it's kind of like a newsletter, but just for your regular users. I would need that in POW to say kind of, hey, there's a new feature, there might be downtime, or just getting in touch with all users at the specific time, calendar time-wise. Like, it's January, I shipped a new feature, here is the email on that feature. While most of the stuff you do in a SaaS, you want to make it automated, so it's like, custom to the user's journey. So when they sign up, then they get kind of emails about features, but then maybe 2 years in, you want to, highlight for older users that there's some new stuff that has happened. You can then do a broadcast to everyone. And I'm guessing I could then do a broadcast for all users and then just send that, or I could probably do some property here where I say, okay, if they signed up within the last month, not send them these emails, because then they're getting onboarding emails and there may be like a little bit of an overload in all of the messages that they're getting. And then I would probably do a broadcast, and then I would say only for users that are older than like 2 weeks, probably, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. And I could probably make a segment on that, because I've seen there are things in here with like segments, belongs to, and then I can write here again, maybe? No, so for segments, I'm not allowed to add on the fly, but for user property, I could add on the fly. And for custom events, I could add on the fly. And that's for segment, and then you can also do something with if they have read another message or not read, because I'm not tracking that, but if they have gotten another message or not. So that is cool. But then the question I had coming in a little bit was Benedicta and then POW. So there are some kind of company product happening here, company settings. So now I said POW, snippets, sending profiles. So Benedicta POW. Oh, so I could probably be a part of several companies, is what I'm guessing. So this account is then my account, and then this is for the company, and the company is POW. I think this would be best, Userlist would be best used with one product, but I think I saw something in the documentation that you could have 2 products, but then you would have to do some more, like kind of, you have to give the users the property of the different products or something like that. It will be a little bit more work, but I think you could do that, especially if the product, like with POW, I'm going to have POW, and then I might do some like extra add-on products. I would probably just add the customers of those add-on products into the same Userlist company account. So yeah, that was kind of a summary. Let's say that was the summary. Because we are on the hour, and I am super happy. This was, I've looked at the marketing site and thought that this was polished stuff, but this is polished stuff. I mean, this is what I like, where I aim to get to with POW. This is just like, everything is just crisp and it works, and yes, love it. So if you need a SaaS messaging check it out. And soon there will be a newsletter feature as well, which I cannot wait. So I'm hoping to get early access to that, of course, so I can get on with it, because this month, April, is all about messaging and getting the newsletter for POW started. And then in May, we'll try and release a little bit of a mini site with Userlist, where people can come on and visualize their menstrual cycle without an account with POW. And then those kinds of visualizations will also be added to POW. So this spring is all about visualization and messaging for POW. And then I am hoping, to keep on adding features all through the year. And I just keep on Ula is very annoyed with this. When we're visiting with people, I can never actually just leave. I have to keep rambling on. So I need to learn to have some proper clean outros on my Sunday videos. But let's do the quickest recap on what I was trying to figure out. Can we turn off open tracking and link tracking? Yes, which is super awesome for POW and the privacy focus we have. Can we change an acting campaign so we don't have to do everything right the first time? Yes, we can. We can add messages. We could even add change triggers, it seemed like. How does the unsubscribe stuff work? So I didn't go deep into that, but I think people will be able to unsubscribe, but then you can force send emails to unsubscribed users if they are of importance and something that you are allowed to send to users, even though they have unsubscribed, which is mostly transactional emails according to the GDPR that we're under here in Europe. And then can we run a newsletter as well? We could probably force it, but we're not going to force it because there's this newsletter feature being released soon. And then can several users have the same email address? Yes. In Userlist, you have a separate identifier for your users. The email is not the identifier, and that is awesomeness. And then there were some additional notes from me. You can do future date triggering, which was super cool for POW since we want to send emails 50 days after they pay, for instance. I'm guessing I can also use that for all kinds of transactional emails around subscriptions, so that people aren't just getting the Stripe emails. They will also get an email from me saying, hey, in a week, there's a new charge happening and stuff like that. I can do that. So the date functionality was just beautiful. And there was a UI for everything, and super awesome. And then we also had a little bit of a look at snippets. You can make snippets, but then you had to go out of the kind of messaging automation tabs and then into your company settings and add all your snippets. And then you can add those back into the messages. But with all of those lovely, where I could add an event before the event was created in the triggering, that would be lovely in the messaging as well. I could write it and then I could convert it to a snippet. That would be perfect. But those are just some, icing on the cake type of requests. And you're welcome. I'm so happy you joined the stream. This has been a super long journey for me. I've been through so many services, and I think I now finally have found my service. So thank you for being in the chat and helping out. And thank you for those awesome messaging templates. And I think that is all for today. We are at 10:59, so we're signing off here. If you want to, there's an email sign-up form in the description below where I send an email every Sunday. That is later tonight. But other than that, I hope to catch you around the Twitters and other communities around the web that we all might hang out in. So that's all for today. Pow, 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 pow!